Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Essentially Sports is privileged to be joined by one of the young sensations in the world of mixed martial arts. Please welcome Super Sage Northcutt. Welcome to the show, Sage. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure to have you here, and I'm so glad to hear that you're doing good considering that the world is going through a pandemic right now and it's not been so good for many people. How has the time been for you ever since March up till today?
So since the pandemic started, I've been trying to get as many workouts in as possible at my house. Eating super clean. I'll show you some equipment actually.
Yes, please do.
It's been tough because all the gyms have been shut down. So I have some like free weights here, a little bench. This machine's really nice. It's a Bowflex machine, so I can do a lot of different exercises.
Okay.
And then of course I have my my punch dummy right here, Bob.
Yes, you posted a picture on Instagram. You were 40 minutes of cardio. You were just pummeling him actually.
Right, 45 minutes. It felt like forever, but yeah, it went by. I'm glad I did it.
That's great to hear, Sage. And you got a home gym. Have you had any training partners, or has it been purely solo training for the last few months?
You know, unfortunately, outside in LA, everything's been shut down pretty much.
Okay.
So I did get to go get some grappling in with my sister and her husband, Raymond. A little bit of training with them. But other than that, everything's been shut down. Then they reopened for a day, and then it's been shut down completely pretty much. It's horrible. Yeah.
And how was it like different in not training with a sparring partner and having to train with your sister and her husband? Like, what was the differences you felt in? What's the difference in training at home and training in the gym?
Well, my sister's a great training partner. I've trained with her my whole life. So is Raymond. He's one of the best kickboxing strikers on the planet. Super skilled. His last few MMA fights, he knocked the guys out. Super fantastic knockouts, and very skilled too. So it's always great to train with them. Training at the house, I'm always motivated, which is great. I always try to stay motivated. I go out running sometimes early in the morning, like 5:30 in the morning. I get the road work in. But another big thing is eating healthy and clean. So I make sure I have my diet really good.
Yes, we know that diet would be a paramount in your life, considering you have maintained such an insane physique despite the lockdown and despite all the restrictions. What is it that you eat that complements your exercise and your motivation?
Oh, thank you. So, I mean, being an athlete, you have to have enough protein. You have to eat lots of vegetables, keep your immune system up. Fruit and vegetables are very important for everything, your cardio, your conditioning, your immune system. So everything like that, I try to eat super clean. I get a lot of my food from Trifecta, which is nice. I don't know if you've heard of it, Trifecta Nutrition.
I've seen it on Instagram actually a lot.
Yes, it comes in handy a lot, especially when the Corona stuff hit over here in the US in Los Angeles, California. The grocery stores had crazy lines, and by the time you got there, after waiting for hours plus, there was nothing in the grocery stores really. So they had like a limit on everything. And then, yeah, so having the Trifecta food definitely helped me keep my diet clean and staying in shape for sure.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thanks.
That's impressive. Now you're in shape and you would be nearing a comeback soon. You're back in mixed martial arts training. We saw another post you put on Instagram in the start of the month. How long has it been since you got the clearance from the doctors to engage in sparring with a partner?
Well, so as the moment, I've still been getting scans, just checking up, making sure that I'm being safe about everything and smart. But I'm looking forward to fighting again, and I'm getting the training going back again, and making sure that I'll be ready and prepared to fight.
And one championship is back on air. They have aired 3 no surrender events from Thailand. Okay. And you are also ready to be back. Now, has one championship approached you for a fight yet? Or do you feel that you would still need some more time, some more scans, and some more time to get into the groove of mixed martial arts?
Well, unfortunately right now, with all the Corona stuff going on, I don't believe the American fighters can get visas yet signed off because the COVID to fly over. But I'm looking forward to fighting. I know it's almost going to be the end of the year soon, so looking forward to fighting the beginning of next year, maybe sometime around then, like January or something. And I'm going to talk with one championship about it and see how the COVID stuff plays out and definitely want to make sure I'm prepared though. So with everything shut down, I want to make sure that things are open back up. I have my training partners, and I'm training hard and prepared.
That will surely happen soon, and I'm sure you'll pick up even more as the months go on. Now,
Oh yeah.
when you do
Sure.
make your return in January, which you are targeting, you also said that you would like to feature on the same card as your sister Colby. Would that be an option that y'all would explore, or is it going to be whoever gets booked first?
No, definitely an option for sure. Especially since, so right now, if the people here in America were able to fly over to overseas with the COVID stuff going on, then I can see my sister fighting right now. But with that being on hold at the moment because the COVID stuff going on, when it opens back up, hopefully I'm able to fight again by then, and me and Colby can fight on the same card, put on a great show for one championship, and I'll be I already made my debut at 185 pounds, but now it'd be like a different debut, a fresh
Yes.
one for me, because I'm going back down to fight a lighter weight class and try to be my most dominant that I can be.
Is there a sort of sibling rivalry, considering that Colby has won a fight at one and you haven't? Does that put any added pressure on you, Sage?
No, you know what? It pumps me up. I'm getting so pumped. Plus, I don't like to lose, so I'm out here even during the COVID stuff. I'm eating healthier than ever. I'm tearing up the bag. I'm doing my cardio conditioning, staying in shape. So I'm getting ready and coming back stronger than ever before.
That's great to hear, Sage, that you're going to be coming back stronger than ever. When you signed with One Championship, you said that you wanted to be a 3-sport champion. So now your comeback, will it be in Muay Thai and kickboxing, or is the focus purely going to be on mixed martial arts for the moment?
For the moment, I think it's going to be mixed martial arts. After my last fight, I want to come back and go back in MMA and try to get a win in there and be dominant, put on a great show. I know all the fighters at One Championship are so talented. I've watched the last few cards since they restarted the fights again.
Yes.
For me, it starts at 5:30 a.m. I get up every morning, set my alarm. I'm watching them every week that they've had them. So all the fighters are so talented. But I still see myself fighting in everything, all three of the sports, and trying to be my best at every single one.
But right now it's going to be purely mixed martial arts, yes?
For this next fight, I'm playing mixed martial arts. But after that, definitely.
You're open to everything.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because it'll be a lot of fun, too.
And One Championship has said that they won't be letting in audiences into the arenas until it's absolutely safe for everyone. Now, have you considered that your fights in January could be held behind closed doors, and would that have an impact on your performance in any way?
For me, I'm going to be so focused. I'm planning on being super focused, and it definitely would be weird just for the fact that when you have an audience, they pump you up. You're there for the audience kind of to put on a great show for them. So when you hear them cheering, yelling, or they get excited because you do something cool, or maybe you do something, a crazy punch or a takedown, and they get all pumped up, it pumps up the fighters too. So if there was an audience, I know that'd be a little unfortunate because all the fans that are there pump up the fighters. But then being able to tune in and view online still pumps me up. So I know that they're watching, and I'll be going out giving it my all for sure.
And we saw that in the UFC, whenever you won, you would give the fans some insane somersaults in the octagon. Now that obviously, I'm assuming, would be for the crowd in the arenas, and their cheers would motivate you even more after you finish the sequences. Would that still be an option if you win a fight behind closed doors? Would we still see those somersaults, or would they not be featured at all?
No, definitely will be featured. I mean, the fans will be watching, so I definitely want to do something cool for them. Who knows? I might even do something different that they've never seen before.
Oh, wow.
I got to come up with something cool. Yep. Yeah, I always like to do a different kind of trick or a flip. So definitely.
So you got many options lined up to treat your fans.
Definitely some different acrobatics and different sport martial arts karate moves for sure.
That's good to hear, Sage. Your fans have something new to watch also. They're going to be looking really excited for this now. And also they'll be excited to see you back at 155, which you said you're moving back to. This was
Right.
where you initially started off in the UFC and were unbeaten. And then you moved up to 170 for a short notice fight. And then you moved up again. So I'm assuming that you were comfortable at 170 as well. Which brings me to the question as, why didn't you debut at 170 in one championship and instead opted to go to 185?
Well, it just happened to work out that I was gonna fight 185 pounds, just walk around my natural weight at the moment. My last fight for the organization I was fighting with before, with the UFC, was at 170 pounds. I knocked out my opponent,
Yes.
finished him with a knockout, and that was at 170. So I just figured I'd fight 185 pounds. But obviously, you learn from your mistakes. That was a very large weight class, and obviously against a very talented opponent too. So now I'm training harder than ever. I'm going to be getting out there. I'm training harder than ever I can by myself right now, but going to be getting out there training with my partners and team harder than ever, and then going back down weight classes to fight.
So you would say 155 is your best weight class because you've competed at 4 different weights in MMA. Would you say that it's your best, or you're just moving back to something you feel very comfortable in and have had success in?
The thing that I think is, I mean, I've been undefeated at 155 pounds. I was 5-0 in the UFC at that weight class, and now fighting for one championship. I was 19 when I first came into the UFC. Now I'm 24 years old.
Yes.
I think me eating clean like I always do, pushing the cardio and conditioning, training super hard like I always do. I believe me fighting at that weight class will be very good for me. I think I'll be able to display my skill set against a lot of talented opponents, and I feel like it'd be a very fitting weight class. I could also see 170 being a great weight class for me, but definitely one of those two for sure.
So you're open to going to lightweight in the future as well, in addition to the Muay Thai and kickboxing at featherweight?
Yes, and in the future, I'm open to it. I understand I'm still 24 years old, and
yes.
Obviously I know people don't hit their prime until they're 30, 31, 32, 33 years old, I've heard. So I know people's muscle and their body matures as they grow older. So I can see that in the future, but for now, 155 pounds at featherweight. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And if you had the option of picking your opponent right now at featherweight, who would it be and why?
So that's, I'm going to talk to one championship about it and see what, I guess, who they have for me to fight. Obviously, when it comes time, I'm not picking any opponents in mind, but I am watching the opponents of one championship. I've been studying up on the featherweight division and watching their fighters. So, and the previous fights just went on the past few weeks and with one championship. So definitely keeping my eyes out and making notes.
And if you're competing at featherweight, obviously the end goal would be the championship, which is currently held by Martin Nguyen. How would you say yourself stylistically fare in a fight against Martin?
I think he's very talented. I think that people say he's known for trying to punch hard, and he's very skilled. He has a great team behind him where he trains. So I think he's a great opponent for the future, and I think he's done a great job, especially with the title and all his whole entire fighting career. Him and all the fighters in one championship are very skilled, and they have a skill set that they're the best at. Whether it's boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, whatever it might be, they're some of the most skilled guys in the world. So he's definitely a very talented guy.
And now at one championship, you fight at your walk-in weight rather than undergoing a weight cut. Would you say that benefits you in a fight, or are you used to doing the weight cut, or you didn't get to experience that at all with 185?
No, for 185 pounds, I didn't do any weight cut. Anybody that asked me or asks anybody that knows me or that was there knows that when you drink a gallon of water, it weighs 8 pounds. About 2 gallons weighs 16 pounds.
Yes.
Before fighting 185 pounds, I was drinking gallons of water for the hydration test. And so 8 plus pounds, even 10, 12, 14 pounds. I don't even know how much, a lot. Eating breakfast and stuff, and was still underweight without even trying to cut the weight. So my plan is to walk around my natural weight. Natural weight, I'm training hard, natural weight, and just fighting where I'm naturally at.
And now Ali Abdelaziz of Dominance MMA has announced that he is bringing over a lot of his talent to one championship. He has announced fighters for the heavyweight division, but he said that he's not going to restrict himself only to heavyweight. are you excited at possibly being booked to fight some of his talent? Perhaps the likes of Usman Nurmagomedov, who also fights at 155.
Wait. So I missed that. Sorry, my phone cut out. You said who is it that's bringing the talent over?
Ali Abdelaziz. He's bringing over new talent.
Okay.
Would you be open to fighting some of his talent? Perhaps someone like Usman Nurmagomedov, who also fights at 155.
Oh, cool. You know, whoever one championship decides for me to fight and what they have in mind, obviously talk it over with my team. But I've never been one opposed to turn down fights. For instance, my fight at 185 pounds, my last fight, I know it didn't go as planned. Cosmo was actually a last minute change up of opponent, pretty last minute, because my opponent that I originally had got an injury. So I've never been the kind of person that's like, I'm not going to fight this person or this person. But definitely talk over it with my team for sure and one championship.
You mentioned that somewhere down the line you would move back to 170. But if I ask you right now, if you ever had the chance, would you go back to 185 and rematch Cosmo Alexandre and try to beat him?
Oh, at 185 pounds? I mean, that weight class is obviously a weight class that's too big for my body. Talked with my coaches. That's not even me walk around my natural weight, eating breakfast, whatever. I'm still under the weight class. So 185 pounds is a very large weight class. I mean, you look at the most talented strikers in the world, like let's say talk about boxing. I believe the weight class between boxing even are 3-pound increments, about 3 or 4, I believe. Yeah, difference. So every pound does matter. It does make a difference. But no, at the moment, I'm solely focused on 155 pounds.
That's great to hear, Sage. And we are tentatively setting a return date for January 2021. But you will be appearing on One Championship programming much sooner than that, because we know that you're going to be one of the pros on The Apprentice One Championship edition. Now, what sort of a role would you be playing in that show, and how excited are you for that?
I am so excited. That's gonna be so cool. For the role, I don't know exactly what they have in mind for sure. But I know whatever it is, One Championship is super creative, and they have some of the coolest stuff in the world. Like even when they have their people walking out at One Championship, they got fireworks and stuff I've never seen before in an MMA match. So I'm excited to see what they even come up with for The Apprentice, and I'm excited to come up with something too.
And what do you make of a show that has a competition to get more candidates on the business side of things? Like the UFC has shows, but it's the Contender Series and the Ultimate Fighter to get people on the fighting side of things. Should the UFC and other American organizations also learn from One Championship and do something for the business side of things?
Sure, I think so. For the fact being that, like Mr. Chaudhry, he's a very, very humble businessman, but like him building One Championship from scratch, and I believe it's a multi-billion-dollar, if I'm saying it right, company. It's so amazing. So for him to be able to have done that, and for him to offer the opportunity for the winner that comes off of The Apprentice to be able to work directly with him, I think that's so cool. And for him to offer something like that and give people a chance like that, that's really awesome. He's a great guy.
He's certainly a great guy, and it certainly is a groundbreaking opportunity. And
I agree.
Now, speaking of the United States, One was set to air shows back in North America. Would you be excited? How excited would you be to compete in front of your home fans again in a different organization?
Oh, that'd be so cool. I know my fans would be freaking out. they'd be so pumped. They would be so excited. I mean, I know they were getting up watching me like early in the morning and stuff when I had my last fight with One Championship, but they'd be super excited to see me fight America.
Now, in the United States, the unique selling points of fights is the trash talking, and One Championship believes that respect in martial arts is the king. Now, do you feel that One Championship would have to engage in trash talking to survive in the United States, or is it unnecessary? What are your views on trash talking and fights?
No, I don't believe they have to trash talk. I think they're bringing something great into the environment and around all the people around the world, having their positivity like they do. the same kind of characteristics that I try to carry and try to have, and not trash talking, having respect and honor.
Yes.
That's what martial arts is about.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people in the organizations here in America like to trash talk because they try to get their fans in. But if you look at what's going on in the economy right now in the world, can you imagine if one championship was over here and they have the respect and the honor and discipline, and they have all these talented fighters that are all respectful? That is really cool. I think a lot of people in the United States would definitely watch that and tune in.
It would certainly be a change from what the United States audience is used to. But do
Definitely.
you feel that sometimes trash talking adds extra pressure on the athletes when they compete? Like they've taken the trash talking to such an extent that even a clinic of the martial arts will not satisfy the fans.
That's the thing. I mean, people that trash talk so much, if they lose their fight and they're trash talking, it's kind of like, what did they become? I mean, you have people that are respectful and they're based off of honor and discipline, and they're out there and they're fighting. They're giving it their all. I mean, they're kind of looked at as like superheroes. Like Mr. Chaudhry says, little kids from around the world, you'd want if you're a mom or a dad, you want your kid to look up to them. If
Yes.
they look up to any fighters, you want them to look up to the one championship fighters and try to be like them because they carry themselves very well.
Absolutely. And you responded to Dana White for his comments following your debut at Enter the Dragon. Now, when you step back into the cage or the ring, will there maybe be motivation for you to prove him wrong again and make him realize that he spoke too soon, or will you just be focused on being the best version of yourself?
Actually, I haven't even thought about his words at all. Until you just said, yeah, no, because I believe I'm young. I'm 24 years old, just getting started. That was only one fight. I was fighting at 185 pounds.
Yes.
And people didn't know my training camp going in and what was going on. Fighting through injuries, if you ask my coaches, and just different kind of things before having the fight. Obviously, you learn from your mistakes, and going back down weight classes, that was one fight. One fight doesn't define who you are. I mean, if you look at my other fights throughout my career and now where I'm going to take myself to become better, you can either take a loss and let it drag you down and think of every negative thing, or you can take that loss and be like, I'm never going to let that happen again. I'm going to try never to make the same mistakes again. And I'm going to make myself better all around. So I'm looking at the positive side, saying I'm going to take myself and make myself better than ever. And I'm not going to make those same mistakes.
This is something I'm sure our young listeners could pay heed to, because this can be applied to any profession in any field, martial artist, corporate, anything. And
Right.
now, Sage, we got a few questions from our fans.
Okay.
And one fan has touched upon the thing you did in the field where you're pushing a huge object and you turned it around 2 or 3 times. Now, what brought on that show of strength?
Oh, thanks. I've trained, obviously eating healthy, but I've trained lots of leg exercises since I was a little kid. I'm trying to think of what video they're talking about exactly. Do you happen to know what video it is?
You were in the field actually, and you were like on the grass and you were pushing one huge object. It looked like a big hay bale sort of thing.
Oh, right, with the hay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so that, I know exactly what you're talking about. So that was kind of like a farm boy strength, just kind of working out, helping my family, help people out, lift heavy things since I was a kid. Okay. But working out, like trying to get all my little tiny muscles in my body as strong as possible. When I was a little kid, I was doing, at 4 or 5 years old, I was doing 250 push-ups and sit-ups every single day. At like 5, 6 years old, I was doing about 500 every single day, up until I started training the martial arts super hard and got into the MMA. But that kind of stuff kind of built up a core strength in my body, and I've always tried to keep that.
That's impressive, Sage. I mean, I was awed by that show of strength. And
Oh, thank you.
tell us something about your cats. You post pictures of them on Instagram. One was at the wheel of your car, and you said, like, this is why I don't let him drive. The other one was
right.
with your 6-pack. Can you tell us
Oh
something
my
about
God.
them? How long have you had them, and what are their names?
Oh, those cats are cool. The Gucci
Okay.
is she's got more of the spots on her, a little bit thinner, and she's part Asian leopard cat, and then she has a little bit of domestic cat in her. So she's really pretty. and she's almost a year old, about a year old.
Oh.
My other cat's name is Sushi. Sushi's the big one.
Yeah.
She got the big old belly, and she's part bobcat. So she's really interesting. They have really cool personalities.
Are they here with you or are they back at home?
What was that?
Are they with you right now or are they back at home?
Yeah, they're with me. They're actually inside the house right now. I wonder. Yeah, let me see if I can. I think they might be sleeping though. Yeah, it's nighttime. I think they might be sleeping actually right now.
Oh, okay. No worries. Don't
Yeah, I
disturb.
think they're asleep.
Yeah. Who would you label as the toughest opponent you have faced in your career till date?
Toughest opponent, man, I would obviously say my last opponent. After the way the fight turned out, I know it's hard to say though because I didn't really get to show much in my last fight, unfortunately. But it's happened to a bunch of great champions that have been the best fighters of all time. They've had a point in their life, pretty much almost every one of them, where they've lost, except Habib or John Jones, for instance, pretty much. But a lot of them have lost very fast. I mean, the first like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you don't get to show what you practice and try to get ready for. So it's hard to say what my toughest opponent is, but I would say that fight.
Now, the last fight which you mentioned was held in a ring. Would you say that had an impact on your fight? The surroundings had an impact, or that's no excuse?
No, I'm not the kind of person to make an excuse. Of course, it did have a little bit of an impact just for the fact that I didn't train in a boxing ring, and I didn't really know about the boxing ring until pretty close to the fight. So that's definitely a different environment, different kind of like it being a square, totally different setup with the ropes, everything. It's a little bit different feeling. I wish I would have got to practice in it, but now I know for the future. But yeah, no excuses though.
How soon do they tell you whether it's going to be in a boxing ring or a cage?
I actually don't remember. I just know it was pretty soon before the fight that I found out, and but now I'll be thinking about it and finding out when I get my fight booked to see what it is and make sure I'm training in it.
You're going to get this notified in advance now.
Oh yeah.
If I had to ask you about one opponent from any organization in the world which you would like to face, who would that be and why?
Oh, that's a good one. One opponent from anywhere in the world. Any organization. I'm trying to think. I mean, fighting at 155 pounds or even like, that's a tough one. I probably want to face. I mean, that's a lot. That's obviously alive right now, right? Fighting in organizations, not someone like.
It's a fantasy booking. It's a sort of fantasy booking.
Probably Bruce Lee, but I know he's no longer like.
Okay.
Yeah, Bruce Lee, because I love doing sidekicks. Bruce Lee loves doing sidekicks. Both have a karate style.
Yes.
I think it'd be a really cool matchup.
Now, despite having a background in karate, you also are quite good in submission game as well. Would you prefer the karate game or would you prefer the submission game, or do you feel that one form of martial arts sets up the other form?
It all depends pretty much on the fighter that you're fighting, what you decide to do. And I feel like one form does set the other form, but you have to have a little tiny transitions down and you have to have a muscle memory. Otherwise, it won't flow right. Kind of like what Bruce Lee says, you got to be like water. So
yes.
You definitely want to flow. But yeah, definitely.
And you mentioned about the different entrances at one championship. And when you showed me your exercise equipment, I noticed a Naruto poster. So could we have an entrance along the lines of Naruto the next time we see you? Wow.
I've been thinking about it. He's got the Sage mode. I've been watching the show.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got the Sage mode going on, and that's pretty cool. Not everybody can do the Sage mode, so I'm thinking about it. He looks pretty similar too. He's got a lot of. He's got the spiky hair. It's blonde. Super athletic. So
you can totally cosplay him.
You might just see something like that.
You can totally cosplay him. We won't.
That'd be cool.
Forgive him for believing that it's Naruto walking out.
That'd be so cool. I'm actually thinking about it. We'll see.
And one more question, Sage. What sports do you follow apart from mixed martial arts? Like, are you a fan of any teams in the United States?
I watch a variety of sports all the time between football, basketball. I have friends that are on different teams. ex-NFL players, NFL players I watch right now, a guy I went to school with in high school that plays for the Bengals. Yep. And then I watch all sorts of stuff, even like the crazy stuff like motocross, supercross on dirt bikes. I know how to ride dirt bike myself and can't do any flips on it. I've never tried flips, but I can ride wheelies and stuff. But yeah, I watch a lot of sports.
Which team do you support in football?
I mean, that's a tough one because there's so many good teams. I don't even want to say a certain team because I have friends that play on all different teams. So
as a boy growing up, before you made those friends, which team would you support? Like, you can safely say that without, upsetting your friends, perhaps?
I mean, I grew up from Texas. So, I mean, you got the Cowboys. I grew up from Texas. Cowboys is Dallas. I mean, they're always really, really great team. And, man, it's tough to say now.
Okay. And I won't pressurize you on that because, like, you got friends and they might not like when you don't support their teams.
Right.
And Sage, we hope to see you back competing soon. All the best for your comeback. And thank you so much for giving us your time on this episode with us. Would you like to say anything to the fans before we go off air?
Oh, yeah, you bet. So I'll be getting ready. I'll be training harder than ever. Obviously, training by myself right now, but going to be getting back into the gym with all my teammates here soon. Going to be hitting it super hard, and I'll be posting stuff on my social media. My Instagram, it's Super Sage Northcutt. Posting some cool training footage here soon. On my Twitter is Sage Northcutt, and my Facebook is Sage Northcutt. So be sure to check it out, and you can always send me messages, and I'll try to get back to you guys and respond. And thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much, Sage. And that's all we have. We'll see you soon on another episode. Stay safe and bye for now.
All right, cool. All right, thanks so much.